Behind the Dish is sponsored by DBAT. Check out dbat.net for baseball and softball products, franchise information, and to find a location near you. And now your host, John Piper.
Coach Greg Goff joins me today here at the ABC 2020 Convention, the 76th annual, as the new head coach of the Purdue Boilermakers. Thanks for being here and welcome to Nashville, Coach.
Thank you, John. I tell you what, an exciting event to be at. I tell you what a great opportunity. I really appreciate you letting me come on here today.
Now, how many years? I know this is such a great event for coaches. I think 7,100 coaches here this year.
Yes, sir.
What year does this mark for your involvement with ABCA?
Let's see. I started back in the 90s, so probably about 26 years or so, John. It's been a while. It was amazing to see how it's grown and how it's really become such a big entity as it is.
Now, I talked to a lot of coaches, they get their season started right here.
Yeah.
What have you been doing as a first-year coach at Purdue? You've been there as a volunteer assistant, though, for two seasons. So the nice thing is the transition with your staff and the players and the managers and everybody involved in Purdue baseball, the transition will be seamless. But what have you been doing as you roll into this new 2020 season to get the players ready for this season?
Well,
in the Big Ten?
As you know, we have a lot of guys back from last year's team, and we're really, for me, the biggest thing is getting them back going after being off for about 7 weeks. From the time we left finals until they get back, it's about 7 weeks. So getting their minds back in shape, their bodies back in shape, John, I think is really going to be big for us. And getting the opportunity of getting them in the cages and really, trying to get those swings and things back to where they were when they left in December.
Now, I know they do a little bit of fall work. They get a little bit of, inter-squad scrimmaging and things of that nature. Doesn't quite simulate Big Ten baseball, but moving into this new year as the head coach, how excited are you for the Purdue program?
Well, I'm so excited. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. I came here 2 years ago to work for a good friend of mine, Mark Wasikowski. He was the head coach. And just the opportunity to grow and get back as an assistant was so awesome for me after being a head coach for a long time. Is just, getting the opportunity to have those relationships with those players a little differently and stuff, John, has been awesome. And then, when he left to go to Oregon this summer and the opportunity came and they asked me to stay there and be the coach, it was just a huge blessing, and so thankful the good Lord's opened this door for me.
Yeah, we were talking earlier off air is how important, the spiritual side of the game and life is to you.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit about the listeners, how that's impacted and helped structured you as a man and a coach as a foundation?
Well, having an opportunity to work for guys like Mike Kennison, who's going into the Hall of Fame tonight, and Keith Madison, who's already been in the Hall of Fame, that they showed me the way, John. They showed me how to balance life and coaching and having a relationship with God and our faith and letting our players see that, not exactly like maybe putting it down their throats, but having an opportunity to show them to be an example. And hearing Coach Corbin this morning talk about that as well. So it's been a big opportunity for me, and I hope and pray that I continue to grow in my faith every day.
Yeah, that's a great message, for the listeners. We were talking earlier, I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky,
yes,
and we'll
sir.
talk here in a minute. You spent a couple years in town as well. A lot of kids today don't grow up with that type of foundation.
Sure.
So, we just hope that maybe that family, that coach, maybe impart some of that as a leader of young men, on the ball field.
Right, no doubt. I mean, I think it's really, as much time as we spend with these guys on a daily basis, we have that opportunity to impact, whether it's positive or negative. And I just hope that we continue to do that in a positive way and help these guys understand that baseball is important. We're paid to win, but, getting those guys ready for life is way more important to me.
Now, Coach, as a learner of the game, you're here. Do you get a chance to sit in on some of the educational sessions? You try to pick up some knowledge from folks that maybe have been doing it longer than you, and also maybe some young up-and-coming coaches that maybe have a unique way of doing things.
I do. John, I look forward to this every year. I think whenever you stop growing, you stop becoming a good coach. And I love coming in and sitting and listening to the guys. The ABC is a great organization for us and to be a part of and to bring the speakers in and things like that. So it's been a blessing for me. I've been coming every year I was a graduate assistant at Delta State a long time ago, and Coach Boo Ferris gave me $100 and said, "Hey, Greg, I want you to go to this ABCA thing," and that was the first one I went to, and I've been there ever since.
That's awesome. And, I sit in on some sessions as well. I don't get a chance, being here in the exhibit hall, but I like to learn some things and share with, some of the youth coaches back in North Texas where I live now. So it's always great. And I just ran into some coaches out in the hallway and there were some coaches here. That it's just such a great way to reconnect. And as a coach, especially head coach at Purdue, it's hard to break away and see all your friends and colleagues. Here's one chance you get to see them all, 7,100 here in Nashville, Tennessee.
No doubt. And, just sitting in Cracker Barrel last night, saw a former player of mine, and then, seeing this morning getting in there and sitting down and seeing some guys come through. It's just a great opportunity and one of the best weekends of the year. It also gets your blood flowing a little bit, too.
Now, as a head coach, you start your 15th season as a head coach, I believe.
Yes, sir.
And you've won 40 games in 6 seasons. That's pretty remarkable. How hard is that to do at the college level?
Well, you better have good players. Coach Madison used to tell me all the time, hey Greg, you're not winning the Kentucky Derby with a bunch of mules. So I took that from him a long time ago when I worked for him for the Big Blue Nation, and I've always kind of kept that in the back of my mind. So we've always tried to do a really good job of recruiting. But I had some really good players in those 40-win seasons for sure.
I like that. You're talking about Coach Keith Madison. Then I just ran into him. Of all the people, I ran into him right before I came to meet you. What a great ambassador of the game. I think he spent 26 years as a head coach at the University of Kentucky, and what a neat story that was. Still makes his home there and does so much for the great game. He publishes the magazine that is home here for the ABCA, and just a great ambassador. And the things he's done with Score International as well. Have you ever had a chance to go on one of those trips?
I have not. He's got on to me about that a few times, but I have not had a chance. It's right there in our recruiting phase, and I just haven't been able to break away.
Hard to break away. And we're talking about a trip down to the Dominican where a group of men go down there, and it's a ministry.
It is.
And they take, I think, some baseball stuff and help do it through the great game of baseball.
That's right. So, no, it's a huge experience. I know a lot of guys that's been there and really enjoyed their time there, John.
Maybe that's something we could, maybe in a couple of years, I'd like to go. Maybe we'll be on the same trip.
We need to do that.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yes, sir.
But you were a head coach at both Campbell College and La Tech, and 40 games winner, 3 straight years at Campbell from 2012 to 2014. Wow. And then last year, as a volunteer assistant and really helping shape that program at Purdue. Second in the Big Ten and runner-up in the Big Ten tournament as only the 3rd NCAA tournament appearance in Purdue history. Pretty remarkable.
We did. We had some really good players and just really had a great opportunity. What a great run we had in the Big Ten and finishing, behind Minnesota that year. So it was a great opportunity. And well, like I told you before, what a life lesson for me to come back and be an assistant for Coach Wasikowski and have a chance to get back in that role and to have those relationships. It was awesome.
Yeah, here on the show we do like to share how players, coaches have overcome adversity.
Sure.
Baseball is a game of failure, and life has its own challenges that go with it. In 2017, you're named the head coach of Alabama. You were there a full year, and Coach Wallace, Flower Mound Jaguars, joins us. And
awesome.
That's what we were just talking about. Coaches from all over come around, but that season didn't go as planned,
right.
And you end up leaving Alabama. But share with our audience what you learned from that experience and how that makes you a better man, a better coach now as you lead Purdue.
Well, I think anytime you go through and experience some very difficult things in your life, John, I think you can do one of two things. You can go backwards or you can go forward. And, once we got to realize that, we lost our job there at Alabama and a new athletic director came in and made a decision to go a different direction, we didn't know what we were going to do. But I can tell you this, my faith has grown in my family relationships and all those things that are really, really important, got in perspective really fast. And having a chance to leave and to go back and to work for a good friend of mine and have a chance to kind of get my feet back under me and grow as a coach was something, John, I just can't believe it. Just a wonderful experience once we got through the first part of it.
Well, Coach Goff, we know life is not easy, and I appreciate you sharing that with our listener. If we can impact just one listener,
yes, sir.
Whether it's a player, a coach, or a mom or a dad that's driving, maybe we call him Little Johnny, that 9-10-year-old to practice That's what we like to do here on Behind the Dish, so thanks for sharing that.
Yes, sir.
Let's take a step back into your playing days.
That's a while back.
You honed your skills as a pitcher, or you ended up becoming a pitcher.
Yeah.
And hey, I'll say it, a lot of times, especially in youth baseball, the pitchers are a lot of times the best athletes.
Right.
But then eventually maybe either you couldn't hit or something became a pitcher only. So,
you got it
so
right.
Which is it?
You got it right. I figured out I couldn't hit, John. And so they said, man, you got a good arm, so let's make you a pitcher. And was blessed to have an opportunity to go to junior college out of high school and grow and develop and have a chance to pitch a lot. And then got an opportunity to go on from there and to pitch at Delta State for a couple of years. So, but you hit it right on the head there. The swing and miss was too much.
Well, that's good stuff. Now, what are some of the things you learned as a player growing up, some skills, maybe some coaches that mentored you,
sure,
Coach, that really stuck with you? Maybe it's still part of your philosophy today that you instill in your players?
Well, having a great high school coach in Johnny Groh at Southside High School back in Jackson, Tennessee, and learning from him, his demeanor was so awesome, John. He just had a great patience about it, and whenever us knuckleheads would do something crazy, he wouldn't get upset with us. He would mentor us and help us grow, and I went on and played for Bubba Cates at junior college, and another man of great integrity and faith, and gave us a great example of how to handle yourself when pressure was on. You just never saw that guy sweat. And then went a chance and played for Coach Marchand at Delta State, and again, another great man with great leadership skills that taught us how to work hard, to roll your sleeves up, and not things. Life's going to be tough sometimes, and you're going to have to work hard to overcome some of those things.
We talk a lot about it here on the show, the JUCO route, and
yeah.
you're a product of that. Going to a junior college, a
yep.
2-year program, you get a lot of work in. What can you share with maybe the players that are listening right now that they want to put on their social media? Hey, I'm
sure.
proud to commit to D1 Purdue or
yep.
Oklahoma State or Texas, and on and on and on. A lot of great players go.
That's right.
Junior college, and I know you probably recruit a lot from junior college. What can you share with that player right now that is thinking about junior college versus maybe Division I, or just wants a chance to play?
Sure. Well, I tell our guys and a lot of the folks that come to our camps, John, there's a place for everyone. And I think the junior college route is a huge opportunity for guys, especially that have like those late birthdays that are 17 years old when they graduate and maybe not fully matured. The great thing about baseball is, you continue to grow and get bigger and stronger. Your arm strength can, increase, your speed itself. And so going to a junior college and getting those reps compared to going to a D1 and not playing your first couple of years, I think is a huge advantage for a lot of people. And you can see my career, I have made a living out of recruiting the junior college route because those guys have got 100 or so at-bats every year, and they come in there and they're ready to play. And so I'm a big advocate of junior college baseball.
That's good stuff. Now, for the listener that doesn't fully understand the scholarship opportunities at the D1 level,
sure.
At Purdue, and you can speak for all Division I programs, how many scholarships can you bring in, or freshmen can you bring in each and every season, or does it vary?
Well, we have 11.7 scholarships, and we can have 27 of the 35 guys on our roster on a scholarship. The least amount is 25%. And so, you divide that amongst the guys, but it's very difficult. I know I have never given a full ride scholarship to any player as far as baseball only money. So it's important. I want to challenge folks, especially in the baseball world, to, the academics is so huge. Find an opportunity to get some academic money or some financial aid money or something like that, John, to be able to put together with the baseball money, I think is really, really important as young guys get ready to go into college. That's
good stuff. Now, being a former pitcher, how much time do you spend with pitchers on your staff now?
Well, I like it. I like to. I think it, as winning championships, it starts on the mound. And I was a pitching coach for a long time, and then became a head coach and did the pitching for a while. But, I felt like it was tough to be a head coach and the pitching coach. And so I started hiring some good pitching coaches a few years ago. And I still go down there a lot with them, but I also let my pitching coach do his job also.
Now, they say a catcher a lot of time is your extra coach on the field.
Sure.
How important is the catching position for a program like Purdue or at any level?
Well, we're very fortunate to have a couple of guys with some great leadership skills. Those guys have to be demanding. They see the whole field. They're kind of like that quarterback on the football team, I feel like. And so having a guy back there that's mature, that can see the whole field, that can handle The pressures of catching every ball and blocking every ball in the dirt, I think, is really, really important. And, as a catcher, those skills are so intangible for me.
Now, Coach, analytics, there's, I think, 360 exhibitors here. A lot of technology here on the floor. I don't know if you get a chance to go around to many of the booths, but how has technology changed, and how have you embraced it as a coach over, the 20-plus years you've been coaching?
Right. Well, for me, I'm kind of old school. I'm kind of young, but I'm still old school in that regard. But, what I have seen over the last few years, John, is there is some really good technology out there, some things that can help me see things that I couldn't see just with my eyes. And so it's been a real benefit for our program with the different types of things that we use. It helps our kids today. They grow up in the society that we live in now with the computer age kids, and so they relate to that stuff. And so as a head coach, if you don't start using it, you're going to be behind. And I think any coach, if you're not changing with the times and year to year, you're going backwards.
The movie Moneyball made that popular. Billy Beane, the general manager with the Oakland Athletics, was using analytics to really create leverage in, because he didn't have the money to spend for players like the New York Yankees did. So he used technology and analytics to find maybe some players that were third-rounders versus first-rounders.
Right.
That other teams thought were done but found a niche.
That's right.
Are you able to do that in the college level? Maybe find some players that were maybe bypassed from some other programs that said, hey, that kid's, I think, got what it takes to make it here at Purdue. Are you able to use any analytics to help in the recruiting process?
We are. We do. We get some really good players at Purdue, but maybe not that top first-rounder pick out of high school and stuff like that maybe some of the other SEC schools and things like that get. So getting those guys that you feel like you can develop and help become the player that you want them to be, I think, is really important. And we try to do that. I think starting out as a junior college player and seeing how kids develop and how important that is, I think that's been really a big basis for my program.
Now, talking about recruiting, what are some of the attributes you look for? Let's take a two-part question, Coach. Okay. The high school player, what are you looking at when you're recruiting the high school athlete? And then second part of that question, the junior college athlete.
Sure. Well, I want you to understand, like, for me, character is really important. They had to be good players for sure. And at the Division I level, we're very blessed to be able to pick those kind of players. But for me, I want guys with character. I want guys, when I go to bed at night and I go home to be a dad and a husband, that I don't have to worry about those guys. So character, John, for me is number one. I can help them to become better players. So those high school guys that make good decisions and work hard in the classroom and all those are the kinds of guys we're looking for. The junior college guys, those guys, again, we're still looking for character. We're still looking for the same things that we did in the high school kid. They're just a little older and have a little bit more experience.
Now, have you had some players that, you bring them in as a freshman or maybe a JUCO transfer, and by the time they're a junior or senior in your program, along any of your coaching, even all the way back at Kentucky when you were assistant, you've seen develop, and no one saw this happening, but by the time they were junior or senior, they were all conference, one of the leaders on the team, a real transformation over just 2 or 3 years in a program.
I have. That's the great thing about coaching, John. Take the wins and losses go away. It's those relationships and having those examples of kids coming into your program. I've had guys come in and walk on and become Friday night starters and being draft picks. And, I've seen guys that were playing at Division II level make it to the big leagues. It's just, for me, having an opportunity to watch those kids and have an opportunity to make a difference in their life is so important.
Coach, are there some players that really stood out that either made it professionally or played really well in college and went on to maybe coach that you want to talk about here, maybe 2 or 3 that stand out?
Well, just this morning I saw a young man that led off for me at Montevallo, J.D. Pruitt's a high school coach now down in Alabama, and just seeing those faces. I saw another guy last night eating in Cracker Barrel, Heath Bailey, a guy that played for me at Delta State. And
hey, it's hard to beat Cracker Barrel.
Hey,
That's one of my favorites.
It can't go wrong. But, seeing those guys and watching them, their families, their little kids come up there, getting a chance to meet them, it was just so awesome. It's just, for me, it's what it's all about, those relationships and having a chance to watch those guys grow.
Not many people have heard of Montevallo, but I have. Actually, I had probably a Hall of Famer on there, Rusty Greer, that played at Montevallo. He's been on Behind the Dish.
Really?
And now he's
what
in
a great guy.
the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame. Yeah. Great passionate about the game. His son actually is, I believe, a freshman at Auburn. Going to play baseball at Auburn
Is he really?
University.
Yeah,
so.
What a great guy. He was great when I was at Montevallo for us. And it's so funny is that before I became the coach at Montevallo, when I went and watched the Rangers one time, he was starting out there, and like you said, boy, what a guy that would just play with his guts and just got after
left it all out on the line. That's awesome stuff. But well, Coach Goff of the Purdue Boilermakers, thanks so much for joining me today on Behind the Dish. It's been a real pleasure.
Great. I really appreciate it, John, for the opportunity. And anytime, any place, go call me anytime.
Coach, anything we missed? Anything else you want to share with the audience?
I don't think so. I mean, I just want people to know and look at my testimony and see that life isn't always great, and sometimes God uses those opportunities to help you grow in different ways. And I hope my testimony one day can help somebody else that maybe have had some things in their life happen to them that wasn't exactly what they wanted to happen.
That's what it's all about, and that's why I think a lot of men and women get into coaching, is just the impact you can have on kids. I see it at all levels, and you're a great ambassador of the game, and I'll be following you this year at Purdue.
Man, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you, John.
Hey everybody, my name is Kyle and I'm the producer for Behind the Dish with John Piper. We put a lot of effort in here to bring you the topics and guests that we think are relevant to the sport of baseball and to your everyday life. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.